Hello everyone, how you doing today? I would just show an update, show you what I've been working on, and a number of fixes, one new release, and a little bit more work done to the Persis CV3. To start with, I got the MX4 out. I tried to set it up to be compatible with both Reforged Eden and Vanilla. However, that required me to gut it pretty much with all weapons and a lot of other things. And there was no ideal way to put the cores in where you wouldn't have to remove them for one reason or another, at least in vanilla. So how I finally equipped this thing is I set it up so it has two improved cores installed. Now, if you're using this in vanilla and you want to up the CPU to add in a shield and other things, you do have to remove these improved cores. There's one here and there's one kind of hidden right in the corner over there, and replace them with advanced cores. If you're in Reforged Eden, you can leave them as they are and then add in a couple more advanced cores over here in a basic core. And then you can start adding the parts like the shield and the pentaxa tank and turrets on here and different gun points and things like that. But yeah, it was a little troubling. I didn't want to gut it the way I did, but one thing, even keeping some turrets on here stock. For instance, in vanilla, the only turret type available are minigun turrets. Okay, so originally I was going to try to have this equipped with 6 of those stock. However, once I brought the ship into Reforged Eden, those minigun turrets turn into a laser turret, and that really freaked me out. They're not even the same turret or turret type, and then it would blow the CPU, and then it would need more CPU stock to function correctly. And it was just kind of it was rough. So I basically came to the conclusion that if I just eliminated like everything and kept it very, very bare bones, it would be the best way to go. I didn't really want to do that, but it was kind of, if I want to do that dual compatibility, or make it useful in vanilla and reforged Eden, I really didn't have many choices in the matter. That's kind of the way the numbers worked out on this ship at least. Um, so some other changes. I did a number of updates. The MX3R finally got updated. I know I was told about this a long time ago with the air leak problem that took place in the middle of the ship. That has been fixed. Oop, let me get the HUD back on. I'll show you. Let's see, debug, show oxygen, and we no longer have that. I don't think. God, it's still a little bit on the one side there, isn't it? Well, it's better. It's got oxygen going through this area now. Man, you put in any little like decorative blocks, it somehow blocks oxygen. But that's the thing; these thin blocks don't actually block oxygen when you use them in other cases. So it's a weird setup. I guess it's not 100% better, but it is better. I don't think it would cause any issues. And I guess if you stood on your feet right here for a little bit, you would not have oxygen, but you would right next to it. It's weird. Um, anyway, that one did get updated. A couple other updates, a little bit bigger ones. The Helios MSC for the RE version of the Reforged Eden version has been updated finally. All the solar panels were swapped out with the newer model, and the solar capacitors were removed from the ship. They no longer indicate that they're getting any solar, but the whole mechanics and whatnot, they do actually provide power to the ship. It just, you don't see it in the form of solar energy. It's kind of like you added some generators to the ship. And they always work no matter if it's got sunlight or not. So hopefully that helps out with the Helios MSC. I also did the same procedure to the Helios P module for Reforged Eden. Now I didn't have to do this to the vanilla versions because they didn't have solar anyway, so that wasn't a problem. So the same thing happened with this one. The solar capacitors were removed and all the solar panels were replaced. Another update. This one I was really happy about. Another author gave me heads up on what to do about my Persis CV2 situation where I could not update it, and it worked flawlessly. So basically what had happened when I was cleaning up my files and things, I must have accidentally deleted my original Persis that I had on my hard drive that was registered in with the Steam Workshop, I guess you could say. And you can tell that because it puts that ID number to the name of the ship when it is, you know, uploaded to the workshop. Well, all that was gone. Um, the trick to making it work again was going to the Steam page of the actual creation. So I went to the CV2 page, and if you look at the very top of the screen, it'll give you that number that Steam assigns to everything. And then what I had to do is simply rename the folder. So the folder name was Persis Carrier-CV2, and that was it for the name. But what you do is you put in 2 underscores and then that ID number. And then when you hop back into the game, it will once again allow you to update the blueprint. Really good information to know. I didn't know it for a very long time. I do know it now, so if I ever have that problem again, I should always be able to come back and update creations. So basically, what took place in this wasn't a whole lot, but the oxygen in the front lounge area is now fixed on the workshop version of the ship. So I'm happy about that. Other things, let's see here. I started taking a look at this MX7 maybe prototype. I didn't do anything with it. I'm still not sure exactly if this would be a useful creation or not. But I started playing around briefly, and again, I don't know if this is going to amount to anything or not either. Trying to design another type of, I would like to call it DFA type style ship, Death from Above, basically a POI combat ship. That would be designed to have a whole lot of turrets on it that could fire down to the ground as you kind of fly above it and around it. And so far I kind of came up with this design. Not so sure on this one. Again, I do like first person glass cockpits and stuff like that. It's neat, especially if you can get the seating nice inside the ship for visibility and things like that, but it's typically weak. But my experience with using the SCAR DFA prototypes in game is that the way these are designed, you kind of fly over your target, and typically the cockpit, at least if it's not like on the bottom of the ship, was not getting hit. Most of the damage was actually being taken from the sides and rear sides of the ship, and of course, you know, some of the turrets potentially on the bottom, but. I don't know. We'll see where this goes. I don't want to like hold my fingers. It was just a quick idea I wanted to act out on to see if this other design ship could work out, and it's a long ways from getting there. So the next thing I did get some more work done to the Persis. I haven't started texturing, but I started getting in more storage and finishing off more of the front side of the hangar. I have not touched the rear of the hangar. Started working out a little bit more of the engineering area. However, I might do some radical changes in this engineering area yet. A couple things aren't working out exactly the way I want them to with fitting parts and things like that. Like this hallway here. Well, I've got 2 hallways, which is kind of wasting some room, but it's rough because I'm trying to go around the front loading door as well, so that kind of forces me to put a hallway off to one side or the other. But I might remove one of these hallways entirely and then reposition these parts in here to be a more asymmetrical approach, because what's happening now is trying to get through here. There's a generator here, so I got to keep you away from the generator, but then there's a warp core over here, and then I got to keep you away from the warp core, and it's just making for some weird dead-end hallways and things like that. I don't really like the setup there, so I might have to restructure a lot of this. Now, I did also go through and put in a secure cockpit right at the top of the elevator. Essentially done a lot like the MCRN 258, where you would hop into the room. I don't have the back wall here, and it's kind of like positioned above the hangar, sort of. However, there's another weird issue too. As the ship flies in the way I'm facing right now, the only entrance to this secure cockpit is actually from the front side of it, so you'd literally have to walk around, the pilot seats and sit this direction, and I'm not thrilled about that either. So I have a feeling I'm going to move this whole setup here. I'm going to move it forward so it starts at the front of the elevator this way and not back over there. And that would also allow me to expand out the farm section better and get some more grow plots in here. Now it does have 72 grow plots in it. Now the Persis CV2 I believe was somewhere around 144 or something like that. So it significantly less. I'm also working out these side hallways, so you will have like some areas that come across the top of the hangar, similar to that of the other Persis ships. And then I did get another elevator in it over here. More 320k storage, more constructors, and 2 separate ammo bays of lesser amounts. So the ammo I've got set at 96k, but there's 2 of them, one on each side. And well, anyway, it's getting there. I just kind of wanted to show you update and let you know what has been updated on the workshop. I think I got through most of the pending known issues that I had with some creations, but I bet you there's a lot more that have problems yet too. Basically anything that had any CVs that had solar panels on them. I'm actually kind of happy that I didn't do that many CVs with solar panels on them right now. So I didn't have that much to update, but the Helios was the big one, as well as like the this particular module here. I believe I did not use solar on the Apollo or the or the M2 Plutus, so those didn't have that issue. But that's pretty much all I got for today. I'm going to try to keep on working on the Persis and get that rolling. I still have not forgotten about the Creel conversion of the Emerald Dragon as well. And I have not abandoned like more SVs either. I do want to make a new high-end human and potentially MCRN SVs that are actually capable of doing good POI attacking and stuff like that. And I don't really have anything in the arsenal besides a Scar one that I believe still works pretty good, and that is the Scar Glaive. That was sort of set up for that, but it's also a vanilla creation, and some of these I was kind of looking to at least have dual compatibility so they could be used in Reforged Eden as well, hopefully effectively, but hard to say. All I can say is, at this point, in my opinion, SVs are especially challenging to have with dual compatibility. It would be a lot easier to, and potentially better to build an SV for either vanilla or Reforged Eden, but trying to make them work for both the stats and items and CPU counts and power usage and thrust power are so much different between vanilla and Reforged Eden that it makes it extremely, I don't know, challenging, I guess you could say, to try to come up with a one solution fits all. And that's kind of unfortunate. Because I know I keep on saying it. I hate releasing 2 versions of the same thing. I even did that with like the Helios here, and that was largely due to the solar panels on this one. But it would make sense. A ship called the Helios having solar panels made a whole lot of sense in my head. So that is kind of the deal there. It's if you get a bunch of extra power for nothing, or just used a lot less fuel, and the ship can mainly stay completely operational if the thrusters are off, just on solar panel, for production or whatever else you're doing on the ship. That's kind of a win. Excuse me, sorry about that. Anyway, that is pretty much all I've got for today, and I'll keep chugging on some stuff, chugging away at some stuff. Not necessarily chugging on stuff, probably coffee. If I was chugging on stuff, it'd probably be coffee. It's really good stuff, by the way. All right, y'all have yourself a good day. I'll talk to you later.